Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great week and crushing their goals, moving their gym business forward every single day. So, gym owners suffer from usually three distinct issues. A lack of time, a lack of money, and a lack of systems. Okay, so today I just want to talk a little bit about time, right? So when I speak to gym owners and we do like business audits and stuff on our mastermind group and people working with us for business consulting, we always talk to them about, like, let me see your schedule. What are you doing? How many sessions are you doing? What's your week look like? And everybody's usually up to here, right? They're kind of overwhelmed, 20, 30, 40 sessions a week, plus marketing, sales, business development, things like that. And it can quickly become overwhelming. And that's the biggest thing that I get from a lot of gym owners is I feel overwhelmed. I don't have any time to work on things. I have, all the things that you talk about I want to do, but I really don't even know where to start because I don't have any time, right? And it's like, all right, well, great. Well, let's do an audit, right? So how can you get more time, right? And why is time important anyway? Because time is an inflexible thing, right? There is no such thing as more time. There is only how you use it, right? So, and so it really comes down to just being smart with what you do and what you say yes to and what you say no to and how you, kind of design your weekly schedule and stuff like that, right? And, so here's an example. Like when I was, all by myself, training by myself, and in 2006, 7, and 8, when I either worked or I didn't get paid, right? So I directly exchanged time for money. And, and so it was my business partner, Dan, who said to me one time, like, hey man, like, you're a phenomenal coach. I love training with you. What are you going to be doing in a couple years? And I don't know why we had this conversation, because at the time he was like 19 or 20 years old, and I was like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, why are you dragging me down? And he's like, what are you going to be doing? I was like, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to coach. I want to grow the business a little bit. He's like, in order to grow, you got to have some people working for you. He's like, you want to be making money, on the weekends or when you're not here. If you take a vacation right now, you don't make any money. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? And hence, why, one of the reasons why, Dan wound up becoming my business partner. And, I said, you know what, you're right. So, we started to structure things, and I started to change some things around, and I started to, really be militant about my time and how I structured things and making time for business stuff. And I would set time away and things like that. And then obviously we partnered up in 2009, and now I had somebody else to rely on, and we hired some employees and things like that. So what can you do? What are a couple things that you can do to get more time? So first thing I recommend is doing a time audit. Literally write down everything you do every day, all week long, right? And kind of, how many training sessions? Create like a schedule. What are you doing? What are things that you're doing, right? And maybe you're doing a lot of like menial jobs. So let's call it $10 jobs if you want to call it that, right? So let's say you're doing a lot of menial jobs, like scheduling people, like, loading contracts into your mind body system and things like that, right? Those are the first ones you want to be able to offload. So I'm going to do a time audit, and I'm going to find out exactly what I'm doing, and I'm going to categorize things into $10 jobs, $20, $30 jobs, and $100 jobs, right? And the goal is to shift your focus to the more lucrative jobs, right? And so the second thing I want to do is create like an ideal schedule, right? So, and it sounds ideological, right? Being that it's called an ideal schedule. But what that is a template for each week. So when I'm going to train people, I'm only going to take clients at these times. I'm only going to take clients at these times, right? So if you're a solo operation or a smaller operation that's still training quite a bit, believe me, I'm not telling you that, hey, tomorrow you got to cut your training, like you got to go from 30 sessions to 5 sessions tomorrow. Like that's not happening. I get that. It took me years to get to the point where I'm at now, right? And I still coach quite a bit, and when the team needs me, I jump in head first and I coach as much as I can, right? So that's never going to go away. So the reality is that you have to start backtracking a little bit, but you can compartmentalize the time in which you do work with clients, right? So maybe you only train people at 7, 8, and 9 a.m. and then again at 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, so that I make sure that I have that middle of the day to crush business work. And I'm going to book that business work in, because that's the one thing I see most people don't do. So I'm going to put in there Monday, marketing; Tuesday, finances; Wednesday, writing workouts; Thursday, team work; Friday, finance; whatever it is, right? And you just and I plug in a couple hours each day to work on specific business tasks, right? So that's the ideal schedule. So you got your time audit, that'll tell you what you're doing and what things. That'll give you a list of things that eventually you want to be able to delegate off and get rid of, right? Whether it's hiring an admin or hiring some other coaches, right? If you're doing 40 sessions a week, you're probably at a point where you need another coach, right? Because you can't really get, how many are you going to do? You do 50? You can do 60, right? At that point, you can't run a business. You're just training, people, okay? So that's my first two. The other one is to delegate, right? Delegate and elevate. If you want to be successful, you have to be good at getting other people to do things well, right? And now I always hear all the time, well, what if I'm a better coach? What if I can do it better? I can do a lot of things better than some of the guys that I have, some of the guys and girls that I have, right? But I don't, because I can only focus on so many things, right? So if I am doing 10 things and dedicating 10% of my time to each one of those, it's not very efficient, right? But if I have somebody who all they do is admin work and they're dedicating 100% of their time to that, inevitably they're going to do a better job just because they actually have more time to focus on it. Although I might do things a little bit better at it when I can focus, the fact of the matter is that I can't all the time, right? So that's just it. So their 90% is better than my 10%, always, right? So you want to start building a team, right? So you want to have an admin, you want to have 1 or 2 coaches, you want to start being able to find people that you could maybe elevate towards management positions and doing a lot more higher quality work too. So at some point you'll do a time order for them, and at some point you'll delegate and offload work from them and get them to do other things, and maybe they become a manager and now they're delegating work to other people. All right, so it really becomes a trickle down kind of effect. And then the last thing is you have to have leadership, right? You have to lead. You have to lead people to be great. If you want more time for yourself as the business owner, you have to direct people constantly as to what you want done. So another thing that comes up all the time when I talk to gym owners is, well, I don't have time to train somebody how to do things. Well, then you're never going to get anywhere, right? And that's just it, right? So I've taken an enormous amount of time to work with Dan and Big Mike when they were first employees, and Trevor when he was here, right? And then everybody else, an enormous amount. I used to run the internship for years and years and years. So every intern, I spent the entire summer with them, hours and hours and hours with them, right? Each week. Why? Because I'm trying to create a great coach, and I want somebody that's going to be able to walk in September when this internship is over and be able to coach, right? Be able to train people. So super important that you do your time audit, figure out exactly what you're spending your time on and what things you can get rid of, delegate and elevate the small stuff, the $10 jobs, right away. Hire a virtual admin, right? Use WeWork or something like that. Hire an in-person admin. Hire another coach, right? Offload some work, right? Get those people up to a level, okay? Lead your team, right? Make sure that they clearly understand what you expect them to do, when it gets done, how it gets done, and constantly upkeep with them to make sure they're doing things properly. If you lead people in the right direction, you will wind up creating a great team that will wind up doing a lot of great work for you, right? And then, when the time comes and you're only focused on those $100 and up jobs, okay? Now I try to focus on $1,000 jobs, right? I want to close $1,000 deals. I want to sign people up to our business mastermind and sign people up to our mentorships, and I want to sign teams up for our team training, and I want to close high-end clients that want to train 4 or 5 times a week, that money's not an option, and they're going to come, they're going to do small group, they're going to do large group, they're going to do nutrition, right? And they're going to drop $10,000, $15,000 a year in the gym. That's what I want to focus on. That's my special power, right? That's where I do my best work, right? And I have a team of people to help me, build the base of our business. So get more time, focus on it. In a couple weeks, we're going to have a free call, okay? May 30th, free sales machine call. Going to show you how to break down and turn your gym into the ultimate sales machine. Take care, gang.